Welcome to week 2 of the Power of 40. It's a series that we're walking through during our 40 days of prayer and fasting. We're going to talk about today a very interesting part of Scripture. We're going to go all the way back to the book of Exodus, second book of the Bible, chapter 34. I just want to read part of this text and then we'll dive in. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write down these words, for in accordance with these words, I have made a covenant with you and with Israel." Moses was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights without eating bread or drinking water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. It's interesting, without water or bread. You would think a human being could not sustain life for 40 days and 40 nights without bread or water. In fact, science would tell you that a human being cannot do that. But when a human being is in the presence of God, God, the very maker of humanity, sustained Moses here. So it's an interesting piece here. Let's read on, verse 29. When Moses came down from the Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the covenant of the law in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant, because he had spoken with the Lord. When Aaron and the Israelites saw Moses, his face was radiant, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them, so Aaron and all the leaders of the community came back to him, and he spoke to them. Afterward, all of Israelites came near him, and he gave them all the commands of the Lord had given him on Mount Sinai. So I think of 2 words here: forgiveness and radiation. This isn't the first time that Moses was up on the mountain receiving the 10 commandments. The first time was a few chapters earlier. And when he came down, he was actually up on the mountain for more than 40 days and 40 nights. And so the people got antsy, and so they made their own golden calf to worship to get them through the tough days. When Moses came down, he saw this, was very angry, threw the original 10 commandments on the ground, breaking them. And then after a while, God called him back up to Mount Sinai for this 40 days and 40 nights, and he re-gave him the 10 commandments. It just goes to show you that God offers his people forgiveness. Yes, we can mess up. We can form idols that aren't God, but God, in his forgiveness, he's always there for us. So no matter where you go, no matter how far you stray, there's always a way back to God. He always gives us a chance. In the Old Testament, it was Moses that acted as that mediator, and now we have Jesus Christ who acts as that mediator. Now, radiation. You heard the word radiate here. Isn't it interesting? Sometimes I look around when I people watch at the mall, and I know malls are kind of outdated, but when I people watch, I see old couples who have obviously been together for a while, and it just always seems to me, why do they look alike? Is it true that the longer you're with somebody, the more and more you look like them? I guess it would make sense, right? Because your experiences are the same, and over time you start to have the same expression and the same wrinkles when you smile or when you laugh. And so the more and more you're with somebody, it just always seems like they look alike. And in the 80s, they actually did a study of about 12 couples, and they came to the conclusion back then that it is true. They have the same wrinkles. Their face is literally changing to look like the other person. But that has since been, let's do a bigger study. And it turns out that maybe that's not the case genetically. People just don't change appearance. But doesn't it seem like they do? I kind of want to believe that when you're with somebody long enough, you emulate them. Maybe even having the same facial marks and expressions. I know when I was around my grandparents, it just seemed like they did the same things together. But this is true, and this is what's happening with Moses here. Is he spent so much time with God, and so much, this power of 40, so much so that a lot of scholars think he didn't even sleep, he didn't eat, he didn't drink. All he did was focus his time and energy on God for 40 days and 40 nights. And when he came down the mountain, he didn't even realize that his face was radiating his time with God. He had this humility. I believe we need to have this humility about us if we want to radiate Jesus. But we got to spend time with Jesus. We can have the same radiation about us as Moses did. Yeah, maybe our face isn't going to shine. We're going to scare people off, by our appearance. But in reality, because of the fruit of the Spirit, we're to emulate love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We need to be kind. We're supposed to emulate Jesus to our world, but we will never be able to do that unless we spend time with Jesus. This is why I love the 40 days and 40 nights, where we subtract something to add something. And I hope you're adding more and more time with Jesus, because if you want to emulate Jesus to the world in a humble way, then you need to spend time with Jesus. Know this: we serve a God who offers us forgiveness at all times, no matter how bad we are. He offers us forgiveness, but he also offers us his presence through Jesus Christ. And so when we enter into Jesus's presence properly, we will then come out of his presence and radiate his truth and his love to our world. That's our mission, church. That's what we need to do. How much time are you spending with Jesus? Enough time to radiate him? I hope you are. I was challenged by this word today. I hope it brought a challenge and inspiration to you too. Have a great week.